everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel, Tara Talks Books, where we talk everything bookish. So today I'm going to be doing some witchy book recommendations. This is actually a collab video with Beccie over at Bex Reads and also some other lovely booktubers. I will leave all their information in the description box below, as well as the playlist so you're able to check out their recommendation videos for witchy reads. So the first witchy read that I thought of was The X-Hex by Erin Sterling. So this is a cute witchy read set in a small town with a bit of second chance romance. So Vivian is a young witch whose heart has been recently broken, and she accidentally curses Reese Penhallow after their breakup. However, he leaves town and nobody notices that he is cursed. However, years later, Reese comes back into town and strange things start to happen. And he ends up having to work with Vivian to almost uncurse him, as well as to save the town, and it goes from there. So it's a really cute one to read during the month of October. Another witchy romance that I've read is The Kiss Curse, also by Erin Sterling. This is the second in the X-Hex series. This one follows Gwen and Wells. So Gwen owns and runs a witchy shop with her mom and her cousin is actually Vivian from the first book, in the small town of Graves Glen. When Wells opens a very similar shop just across the street from Gwen's, this of course frustrates her and they get off on the wrong foot, but they share a kiss that they both believe is a magical fluke, and things go from there. Gwen starts to lose her powers for some reason, and again they have to work together to figure out what's going on. So the next one I have is actually a fantasy, I believe it's a YA fantasy that has witches in it. It is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. So this one is about Agnieszka, and she has grown up in a small village where every 10 years a wizard known as the Dragon takes a young woman so that he continues to keep the encroaching wood at bay and kind of protects this small village. He uses magic to protect them from the wood, and in return he takes a young woman every 10 years. You never really know what happens because the young woman never comes back to the town after her time is up with the dragon. So of course Agnieszka thinks that her friend is going to be taken, but to her surprise the dragon actually takes her, and the story ensues from there. She starts to learn more about herself. This is another good one to read during the month of October. It is very atmospheric with the wood, witches in it, as well as magic, because it is fantasy. Really check it out if you haven't already. Another one I read more recently, and that one is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. So this one is a bit of a fantasy romance. So this actually follows two rival witch families in New York City as they fight to maintain control of their criminal enterprises. The Antonova sisters and their mother Baba Yaga. On the other side is the Fedorov brothers and their father Koschei the Deathless. So they have been at a tenuous impasse for the past 12 years until one of the family's interests caused a rift in this agreement. So bad blood brings both the families to the brink of destruction. However, fate steps in and everyone has to kind of choose a side and kind of figure out where their loyalty lands. This is a bit of a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and it does have a twist on the ending of Romeo and Juliet that I really enjoyed. So if you're looking for a witchy read to read during the month of October, definitely check this one out. The last one I have, I actually own physically, and that one is Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. I really enjoyed this one when I read it. So this one follows Reggie, and Reggie applies for a position at a card game. It's called the Magicking, and she's really wants to get the job because it's a card game she's played and she really thinks it would be an amazing opportunity. However, it's not actually what she applies for. She ends up applying to be a familiar for a witch, and she doesn't realize that. She just kind of thinks that the lady that she applies to is eccentric and she soon realizes that maybe there's a little bit more to it. So Drew is who she works for, and she's a familiar for. And Drew has a nephew named Ben, and Ben doesn't really like that Reggie is like a familiar for his aunt because she just has no training. Normally in this witch world, they have training to become a familiar, and he just doesn't think that she's going to work out for her aunt. So of course they're kind of at odds with each other. However, something happens to Drew and they have to work together to kind of like solve a mystery or solve what happened to her. And so it goes from there. I really enjoyed this one. This was fun. It has a fun little, black cat. It has like an atmosphere of like a witchy house. So anyways, there's a scene with a crystal ball that's pretty funny. So definitely check this one out. It's definitely a fun one to read during the month of October. And it is a lovely witchy read. So those are all of the witchy book recommendations that I have. Go ahead and check out the other booktubers. Like and subscribe if you'd like to. Bye!